that perfect daily routine we're all chasing? What if I told you that the chase itself is the very thing setting you up for failure? Today, we're going to deconstruct that whole idea and build something different, something that thrives in the real world. Welcome to the Anti-Fragile Routine. So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You miss your 5 a.m. alarm, you get one negative email, and poof, the entire day just collapses. If you're nodding along right now, you're not alone. But the reason why this happens, well, it's probably not what you think. And this right here is the heart of the matter. We beat ourselves up thinking we lack discipline or willpower. But the hard truth, it's not you. It's your system. Your routine isn't disciplined. It's just brittle. So let's dive into this. The source material calls this the glass routine problem. And honestly, it's the perfect name for it. Something that looks perfect, but shatters at the slightest touch. This feeling has a name, and it's called a systemic shutdown. It's that awful domino effect where one tiny thing goes wrong and it triggers a complete collapse of your day's productivity. It's basically a catastrophic failure of your internal operating system. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We spend all this time building these delicate, perfect glass routines that depend on everything going just right. But we live in a world of stone realities, a world that is messy, chaotic, and completely unpredictable. It's a fundamental mismatch. Okay, so let's get to the root cause. Why are our systems so fragile in the first place? Let's diagnose this. The underlying issue is what's called systemic fragility. It means your entire system just can't handle shocks. If your ability to be productive relies on having a quiet office, getting a perfect 8 hours of sleep, and having zero interruptions, you have absolutely no strategic moat. You're completely vulnerable, just one random event away from a total shutdown. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Look at the left column. That's the world we design our routines for. Perfection, quiet, predictability. Now look at the right. That's the world we actually live in. Volatile, chaotic, and full of interruptions. Is it any wonder our plans fall apart? And the psychological price we pay for this is huge. It leads to this state of reactive anxiety, where your mood and your ability to perform are completely at the mercy of your environment. You're not in the driver's seat anymore. You're just reacting. And here is the gut punch. You might feel like you're optimized, but what you really are is environmentally dependent. You've built what the source calls a zero-tolerance architecture. It's like a perfect experiment in a sterile lab that completely disintegrates the second it's exposed to the real world. Okay, so that's the bad news. Our systems are broken. But what if there's a completely different way to approach this? A new way of thinking that doesn't just put up with chaos, but actually uses it to its advantage. Let's talk about the anti-fragile paradigm. Anti-fragility is the total opposite of fragility. We're not talking about just being resilient or tough. Anti-fragile systems literally get stronger when they're hit with stress and volatility. Imagine a system that doesn't just survive chaos, but actually feeds on it to grow. So how do we know if we're anti-fragile? The source gives us this simple but really powerful formula to measure our daily resilience. We'll call it R. You just take your output on a chaotic day and divide it by your output on a perfect day. And the goal? The magic number is 1 or greater. Think about what that really means. It means you are just as productive, or maybe even more productive, when everything is on fire as you are when everything is going perfectly to plan. Once you achieve this, your whole perspective shifts. You stop being a survivor who's just trying to get through the day. You become what the source calls a dominant node. You realize the goal was never about sticking to the routine. The goal is your total output, your systemic throughput, no matter what. You don't lose the day, you just refactor the execution plan on the fly. All right, this sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually build this? How do we make it real? Let's get into the nuts and bolts. Let's talk about the anti-fragile protocol. The whole thing breaks down into a 3-step framework. This is the protocol you're going to use to swap out that fragile old operating system for a new one that's built for resilience. Okay, step 1 is barbell tasking. It's about splitting your focus. 80% of your energy goes to your bulletproof constants. This is your core, deep work that gets done no matter how you feel. The other 20%, that's your high volatility experiments, the big swings, the new ideas that might fail, but could also pay off 100-fold. Step 2 is a huge mental shift. You need to apply a trigger-based architecture. This means you stop letting the clock run your life. So instead of saying, at 9 a.m. I'm going to do X, you start thinking when event Y happens, That's my trigger to start task X. This basically unchains your brain from the clock and makes you incredibly adaptable. And finally, step 3. This one might sound a little crazy, but it is absolutely crucial. You have to perform stress injection drills. That's right. Once a week, you intentionally throw a wrench in your own plans. Go work from a loud coffee shop. Try cutting your time for a big task in half. The point is to find the breaking points in a controlled way. And when the system breaks, you don't panic. You debug the code. So, when you put all of this together, what have you created? It's a total transformation in how you approach your day, your work, and your life. And this is the ultimate takeaway. This is the mindset shift. You need to stop thinking of yourself as someone who just follows a schedule. That's passive. You are now an active architect, and you're not designing for a perfect, quiet world. You are architecting for chaos. Which brings us to this final, powerful idea. You have this incredible mind. It's time to stop letting a rigid calendar put a ceiling on your potential. It's time to stop just surviving the chaos. It's time to start eating it. Now, if you're ready to actually start building this, the source material offers a daily stress test template to help you get started. If you want it, just comment unbreakable below. So the only question is, are you ready to finally become the architect of your unbreakable day?